Hey guys, we're here to do a tier list ranking for The Legend of Zelda.
And not Tears of the Dragon, but tears as in the quality of the game, mind you.
Yes, right. A tier list. Really, yeah. Let's start up. I believe these are in the right order. If not, then oh well.
Man, who knew there's so many Zelda games?
There's more than
just
that.
Looking at this tier list here.
I believe there's more than that.
I think there are. Yeah. Then we're seeing some we're missing.
But the ones we're missing either are kind of like CDI games or maybe of some obscure Game Boy game or something. I don't know.
So good luck to the games I haven't played. They probably suck. All right, I played them.
Yeah, that could be. Actually, that could be. I don't know. All right. Well, first, Zelda on the old NES, Nintendo Entertainment System.
Yes, Zelda. What's it named?
The Legend of Zelda.
The Legend of Zelda. And Zelda wasn't really even... Was she in this game?
Yes, the very end.
But anyway.
And if you're going by the story...
I regress.
Did you say digress or regress?
I'm regressing right now.
I regress.
So what we got? So
the first Zelda
I can't really comment because I've never played this game except for minutes worth. So
yeah,
this is your territory.
We have played it recently, but it's just like mods, hacks, and randomizer or whatever. But yeah, the very first Zelda I played on the NES back in the day, and it blew me away basically back then. At the time, it was like a huge innovation and like one of the biggest games back in the day.
I think we were talking, they didn't even, like, this is the first one of the first era of games where you could save.
Yeah,
right?
I believe so. Battery backup, I believe it was like the first, if at least not on the NES.
Yeah.
I know they had in Japan the Famicom system where they could save games, but for the cartridge, yeah, I believe it was like the first battery backup.
That had to be an awesome sell in the day.
Yeah, and
man, you were probably what, a couple years old when it came out? When did it come out?
It came out in like 86, 85 when the NES came out. So yeah, and yeah, it had the 8 levels and 8 pieces of Triforce. You know, you had to get the 3 swords and heart containers. You know, it's basically the very first template. You know, Zelda template.
So how good of a game is it really though? And how, first of all, are we going to rate these? Are we rating them based off of how good they were in their era? Or are we weighing in now things such as graphics or, you know?
No, like, I mean, there's obviously nostalgia and stuff, but we're gonna, like, I mean, things have aged, of course, and better things have come out. So I think we're just gonna rate them like, you know, as they are now. They were great, and they kind of broke some barriers, you know. So
we're gonna rate them
is what I'm trying to say.
We're gonna weigh in today's value.
Yeah, I believe so
to some extent.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, the first Zelda I thought was one of the best games back in the day. And it's definitely like aged. It's you know, I mean, it's like
how good is it, Ryan? S through D.
I just want to say though, in that game, it was kind of a wasteland kind of, you know, it was like nobody to talk to, nothing like that. It was just mostly enemies and like old men in caves. So
explains why it's on the fallen timeline. Yeah,
that's exactly what I was thinking. But anyway, now, like before, back in the day on the old Nintendo, I would have rated it S tier. But like now, after, you know, so many years, I would probably put it on probably B. You know, I mean, I know it by heart now, but I mean, there's better Zeldas out there now.
Maybe I'll rate 2 and we'll take an average. I give it a solid F. I'm just kidding.
That's not on the list.
I didn't play it, so B it is. Let's go.
All right.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, the sequel.
Now this I have actually played for a section of time, but hated it.
Yeah, you didn't like it, huh?
Going in and out of doors, a whole lot of those crappy things. Of course, I did not play it growing up with it. I don't have that nostalgia feeling for it. So, what about you?
What would your rating be? Like just from what you've played? And
honestly, I'd give it a D.
Really?
But I never got to connect with the story of it. I just did some gameplay.
Yeah, and you haven't played much of it.
No, and really, I'm just now appreciating the story as I delve into the timeline of Zelda. So,
for me, like I did play it growing up. It is definitely one of the most difficult NES games I'd ever played back in the day. It's definitely more difficult than the first one. Yeah, well, they changed everything up, so you got the side-scrolling aspect. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the RPG elements that they added to it. Where you get experience points for every enemy that's killed. You get different spells to use, plus all the temples, cathedrals, whatever you want to call them. I enjoyed it. It's just more difficult, and I didn't like it as much as the first Zelda.
Sounds like we're falling on a C, huh?
Yeah, I think so. I enjoyed it, and then the second I got the downward thrust, I was just like,
that's almost brings it up a tier level just because of that.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that's in Smash Brothers first started in Zelda 2.
Yeah,
because that was a side-scrolling Zelda. But overall, I would say it's not as good as the first Zelda, and C would probably be where I would put it now.
Okay, C it is.
Zelda 3, A Link to the Past.
That game sucked. Actually, I loved that game. That was a good game.
Okay, I was going to say, well, I'm going to go. But,
skipping ahead just slightly, the first Zelda game I actually played was Ocarina, but I was still in a young enough age to play where I really connected with it, and it brings back good memories. So to me, Zelda 3 is a solid A.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, I first played this on the Super NES when it came out. I think it was 91.
Wow, that's good.
Anyway, and it was, it blew me away. It was like Zelda 1, but like on crack, You got the light world, the dark world, the 3 pendants and everything is basically what Ocarina of Time just sort of took a template from, and turned that into 3D and changed it up a little bit. But yeah, and then that was the first Master Sword. Zelda 3 to me was huge, and still I believe is at my favorite Zelda of all time.
And can I just mention, who expected the dark world when that happened and you had a whole separate map? That was crazy.
Yeah, it was. It was huge. It was different. I believe when I first played it, when I got all the pendants and stuff, I was gonna save Zelda and take out the wizard or whatever. I was like, this is it. I can't believe this is it. And then next thing I know, it's just like a whole different map and way more to do.
Yeah, I remember that surprise.
Yeah.
Of course, I had to play as a bunny the whole time. I couldn't find that item to make you a human.
So you're like whipping Ganon with a carrot?
Yep, you got it.
Hey, what's up, that? That was horrible. So to me, it's S tier. So you think it's A. So this is our first discrepancy, kind of.
Well, I think when we have a discrepancy, we'll lean into the higher tier.
No, so like a sort of rounding up.
Round up.
All right. So how about we make Zelda 3 S?
Okay.
All right. Cool. This next one here, I believe, is just the Game Boy version of that. I've never played it. I assume it's about the same.
We're not going there.
Yeah,
Next.
so we'll just skip that. Zelda Link's Awakening. I played this on the Game Boy Color when it first came out, and I thought it was really good, not as good as A Link to the Past.
No, yeah, and I played it, just don't remember it. So I remember little features about it. So to me, that says it just wasn't very memorable. I have a few on the different systems.
And
like
did you play the Switch version, the updated one? They looked like they had like clay models.
Yes, I got halfway through it and then I kind of set it to the side. All the bubbliness kind of got to me.
Yeah, and the style, the new style, I like the new style, but it didn't blow me away or anything. I mean, it was cute, but the original I thought was really good for a portable game. That's one of those games that's like back in the day thing,
that's true, and I can appreciate it, but to me it's a C.
Really?
I mean, we're basing these kind of comparatively, are we not? Like if the worst Zelda game has to be a D, this is down as one of the
this
not
is just
so good ones.
This tier list, I mean, D is like on this list, D isn't really D, it's more like complete dog crap D, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, like, I wouldn't suspect any of these Zeldas right here would be on D.
Well, no Zelda should be on D.
That's basically, in my opinion. But
unless it's Link's.
Yeah, Link's Master Sword. Anyway. So, yeah, I believe it would be on B. I think it's on par with the first Zelda for sure. It's better in a lot of ways, in my opinion.
So we're not going to rate these kind of in contrast of each other. We're going to rate them based on basic quality of the game.
That's what I'm going for. And when I think about like how great that was on a portable system back in the day, I can go anywhere with it. You know, a lot of people don't realize with the Switch now, you know, you can just take you can take Tears of the Kingdom anywhere with you. But back in the day, you know, like the thought of bringing A Link to the Past anywhere with you was pretty.
That was revolutionary. In that case, I'll go with B as well.
Okay, the next Ocarina of Time.
This is by far the shittiest Zelda game.
Yeah, I thought it was actually, you know, when I first played it, I was just like, oh my god, what, a horse? Why is he riding a horse? This is stupid. This is the dumbest game ever.
You're so full of it. It's a solid S.
Yeah? Oh, out of the gate.
Why discuss? Because everyone knows.
I mean, we'll discuss a little, but...
No. Okay, yes.
Period. I don't care what anyone thinks.
So like I said, I grew up with this game.
Yeah.
And this is one of my first games, period, really playing video games.
And when we first played this together years ago at my place, if you remember that.
Oh, yeah.
My grandma bought it and brought it over, and we're like, oh my god, let's, you know, put it in. We're all super excited, you know, and
You had an awesome grandma.
Yeah.
Just goes and buys you a video game.
yeah,
And the best one.
She got me A Link to the Past as well. You know, so it's just like, holy crap, you know. Thank you, Grandma. We first turned it on, you know, and it had that music that played, you know, and Link riding around on that horse. We were both in awe. And then, you know, of course, the gameplay and everything. I mean, I do have my issues with it, but
They're your issues, so you keep them to yourself.
oh, you know what? Let's get into it now.
What you got?
My only, like, I'm not going to go and delve into, like, every issue because, you know, most of them are pretty nitpicky and don't really matter that much. But it's just the story. You know, I've mentioned this before when I was playing that Zelda hack. Not the story per se, but the way how things advance. You got your three medallions or whatever, and then your 7 medallions after that. Basically just took the template of A Link to the Past and then used that in Ocarina. Just the basic template was kind of like a copy of A Link to the Past, which was just my only real issue. But, you know, like I said, nitpicky. That's partially why I like Majora's Mask so much, is how they changed things up a little bit.
They really did.
So Zelda ranking S tier.
I'd gotta give it an S. You know, it's clunky to play now, but it was a great game.
Yeah.
Especially when you got to hold that N64 controller with the wobbly stick because you've been spinning it so much on Mario Party.
Oh, Mario Party! I love the first 2 Mario Parties were, to me, really great.
Still a more reliable controller than any Switch controller.
You think?
The 64, I mean, they lasted forever.
That's true. I don't really like the design all that much. I mean, at the time, I was, you know, I lived with it, but now I wouldn't really want to go back to it. But I understand what you mean, though. They were pretty. You probably use it as a boomerang, it'd probably be fine. Okay.
S tier.
S tier. All right, Majora's Mask. Your opinion?
I didn't buy Ocarina at first, but I did buy Majora's Mask. And it kind of surprised me in how they didn't just stick with the same formula, because that's what I expected.
That's one aspect I really just drew me in. The first aspect was this was more Zelda Ocarina of Time style. The second aspect was that, and then the third aspect, time travel, which really also drew me.
That was really cool. And so here's a good example. Remember putting on a mask, like the Goron mask, and you get possessed by it, and he screams.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he's got this power. He can like roll around at a fast speed. That was a surprise.
That was really cool. And it looked like that it like physically hurt the guy. You know, like it's like this is a painful experience, but.
So that put it for me at an A tier. But then what's that mask?
Oh, the Fierce Deity?
Yes. Then you got the Fierce Deity mask.
That was
and that put it to the S tier.
Yeah, that was your treat for getting all the masks, you know, collecting everything. And I thought that was a pretty good reward. You know, I mean, it kind of sucked that you can only fight bosses with it, you know? They did not design... There were glitches you can use to get around that and use it anywhere, but there are some places you just can't enter or do anything because it's just... They didn't design it, you know? I
did that glitch. Yes, that was a fun glitch to take advantage of.
I believe the Majora's Mask is kind of unique in that they only had 1 year to finish it, and it's just amazing that what they were able to do within that 1 year. 1 year, they only had 1 year to do it. Miyamoto only gave them that much time, and they did have plans to do more. They were originally planned had the fierce data being able to use anywhere, but they ran out of time. There are other aspects too that they could have added and done, but they again ran out of time.
Well, that explains why they could only put 3 days in the game then.
Maybe.
Being funny. How they have the time loop.
I just got what you said. Yeah, that was pretty funny actually.
Maybe. So to me, it's an S tier.
Yeah, I
We
agree.
can talk all day, but
Yeah, S tier.
it's such a great game.
I personally like Majora's Mask more than Ocarina of Time, but I mean that's just that's going to be a different opinion for everybody. Okay, so
For you, Ocarina would be an A.
no, I think Ocarina is still S. I would just put Majora's Mask above that in that tier.
Oh, we could do that actually, because I think Majora's is also better.
All right, so the next one, Wind Waker.
Is it bad that I just love every Zelda game I've played?
No, not at all.
And
Most
the
of
ones I
them are
haven't played are just, not good any for some
because
reason.
you haven't played them.
Yeah, exactly.
You did play a little Twilight Princess recently.
Yes.
And that's just one of those games that takes a bit to get going. I think if you would actually play through the whole thing, or we might still do that, I don't know, at some point.
Oh yeah, I get the vibe that it's a great game.
Yeah.
So Wind Waker, one of my most played games, mostly because first I enjoyed it as I was getting older. But then I got kids and they grew up with it and they want to play it every year and start a new game over. So I'm well versed in Wind Waker and it's a great game.
Yeah. It's aged pretty well too, because like the cartoony graphics, I mean, even today on the GameCube version or whatever, it still looks pretty good in my opinion.
Yeah, because you can disguise bad graphics with that cell shading.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it is good, and the update one was even better.
Yeah. The
and
HD version. Yeah.
I don't think I can give it less than an S.
Really?
For me. We might have to downgrade that for you. That's fine, but
Like for me, some things kind of dragged it down a little bit. Like the sailing, at least in the original, in the HD version, there's a faster sail.
yeah.
And did you play the?
I don't know that I had played the original. I always had the faster sail with whatever version I played.
Okay, then you must have played the HD version, I believe. But yeah, for me, the GameCube version, like the sailing was pretty slow. I mean, I had patience for it. I didn't like hate it. It's just like, it's just like, come on, can we get to the next spot already?
Yeah.
And then the Triforce hunt at the end was worse in the original because you had to find like all 8 pieces or whatever. Instead of, it was kind of cut down a little bit in the HD version.
Okay.
So I mean, some aspects bring it down a little bit, but overall, it was a really great game. When it first came out, I thought like the graphics was like, well, the trailers or whatever in their first time, I was really disappointed. I thought it was like,
We were
what, really?
concerned. Yeah.
It looks so stupid, but it grew on me, and it's like one of my favorites now. So,
And who wasn't a big fan of that in the creators of Zelda?
I believe, if I remember, I could be wrong about this. I think when Miyamoto first heard about it or saw it or whatever, he thought, no, I don't. He did not. He did not like that. But I guess it grew on him too. So me, I think Wind Waker would be on A.
Okay,
personally.
Let's go with A because I only played the version with the sail, and if I didn't have that, I mean, you don't have to change the wind. You just pop that sail open, it changes the wind for you.
Yeah, every single time you want to change wind, you have to use the Wind Waker wand every single time.
It would have gotten obnoxious.
A little bit tedious. So
A it is. That's our first A game.
Okay. Twilight Princess.
I have not played enough to make a call on this. Why I have not played this game by now, I don't know. Shame on me.
Yes, shame on you.
I will continue to try to find the time for that. But you got Tears now, so it's like.
And Tears, and then once you're done with Tears, after playing 800 hours of Zelda, you're probably not going to want to play another Zelda for a little bit. Really slow start, unfortunately. I mean, I think a lot of people have that view. It takes a little bit to get going, and the first temple I wasn't really a huge fan of with the monkeys and stuff. It grew on me, but I mean, I do like Twilight Princess. It was just at that point I was like getting really tired of this normal Zelda formula. It definitely got better and has some great temples with some great items.
Plus the story, like I learned more about the story as I dig into the timeline. It's got a lot of relative story.
The wolf part was unique back then, and I thought it was like kind of a cool take, changing into a wolf form or whatever. My issue with that is just like every time I was forced to be a wolf, I couldn't wait to get Link back to human form, because the wolf thing, it got kind of old quick for me. Being able to use a sword and the items and stuff. So to me, I think Twilight Princess, and it's been a while since I played it as well, but I would put that probably on B.
Okay. I can't make too much of an opinion, but B is where I was headed with my short experience.
So the next one here is Zelda Four Swords Adventures, I think. I've never played it.
I have not played that game either.
Okay.
So I guess we cannot judge.
Yeah, the next two Game Boy games, Ages and Seasons, they were on the Game Boy Color, I believe. There were sequels to Link's Awakening, and I've never played it.
I'm not as well. What is wrong with us? How do we call ourselves Zelda?
Yeah, I wanted to play them, and I still kind of want to play them, and which would be easy to do now on the Switch, but I've just never got around to it. Next one, Minish Cap. That was on the Game Boy Advance.
I don't recall if I played this one. I played two of these next three.
I played Minish Cap, but I never beat it. I thought what I played was really good, but it just, I don't know. I either lost interest or I got distracted with something else. So.
You know, that's always my first sign that a game wasn't superb. I think I have not played that game, so I'll have to let you rank that.
It's hard to rank though, because like I said, I never finished it, and it was a long time ago when I played it. So I don't remember a whole lot about it except for like tiny details.
Might have to just sit there. Okay.
You wouldn't get that because anyway, you get tiny in Minish Cap. From what I played, I liked it, and a lot of people think this game's really good and would put it up like pretty high. I would probably say maybe B.
Yeah, I mean, we couldn't rank it better than the original NES Zelda, could we?
If you were to compare the quality, there's a lot in Minish Cap that's much improved over the first Zelda.
I'm sure. Okay.
Minish Cap, we'll just pop it up there.
Sounds good.
Okay, these next two I have not played, but you have, yeah?
Yes, so these next two were both pretty good.
Yeah.
Phantom Hourglass, I don't have a whole lot of memory of. I think I beat it. I don't know if I did, but it's a solid B, and B's not a bad grade in math.
No,
so
it's not bad at all.
Let's throw that up there. It was a filler game though. Let's be honest. It was on your portable system. You could play it when you were bored, and it pulled you back in. And Spirit Tracks is kind of the same game. You know, this one hooked me though. I had to get back on my what was it, Advance at the time?
DS, Nintendo
DS. Yes. I had to get back on it and play it more. And something about the railroad and the train, and I just really liked it. And for me, it was an A game.
Really?
Yeah, it was a pretty good game.
I can't say anything about it, so all right, let's go to A.
That might be heavily weighed on my play of it. It might be more of a B game, but that's what I would say about it.
Next one is Skyward Sword. Came out on the Wii.
You know, I think I played more of this game with a third-party perspective since I have not played this game. But I sure seen a lot of it in getting to know Zelda. And it's got a very huge impact on the whole series.
Yeah, the timeline and all that. I don't remember if it was known at the start, like through trailers and stuff. It was, if that was going to be at the beginning of the timeline. But yeah, it's before Ganon, before the Master Sword, before everything really. That might have been the very first Zelda. I mean, not the game, but the character Zelda.
Yeah.
So yeah, Skyward Sword. I played that quite a bit actually, and I thought that you could like the 1-to-1, with the Wiimote, move your sword anywhere with the remote. Was really cool in theory.
Yes. I saw on the E3, what is it? Whatever, where they demonstrate how that was all glitchy and they couldn't get it to work right.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
Sad.
And you had to have like I forget what you call motion control plus or whatever, and I had the one that was built into it. It was great at first, and for the most part, I didn't have a ton of issues with it until later. Great as it was, there were a lot of issues with the control.
I just personally remember I tried to play this game when it came out. I remember being a little bit annoyed with I love the idea of swinging the sword around in real life. I loved the whole Wii system for that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't working for me, and the game started so slow that I just gave up really quickly.
So like years later, I played it, not on the Wii, but I played it, having to constantly recalibrate it. I would play it straight, but Link, when he takes the sword out, would be pointing it in this direction, right now, instead of that direction where it was supposed to be. Overall, for whatever reason, I find myself just going back to it.
Well, now they have another version, right?
Yeah, HD. I haven't tried it though, but it's supposed to be an improved version of it. But it was different though. Like every area was like a puzzle in itself. You go down to the world or wherever, the forest or whatever, and you have to find your way through to the temple. And then you have the temple itself. And I don't know. Overall, I actually enjoyed it more than Twilight Princess. And I enjoyed the story, how it was the beginning, and Girahim, a lot of people thought he sucked, and he is a very odd villain, but I actually ended up not liking him, but thinking he was a good villain, and then he got demised.
Villain lover.
Yeah, I do kind of like, good villains. So, so overall, I enjoyed it, and I thought it was kind of an HD version. And I think the HD version is probably going to be better. I would like to get that at some point. So
A stands for ass. You've been rating games A all this time. I didn't know it.
Got a great ass. It's. I said it.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
It's an A. Cool. I should play that. You should play Spirit Tracks.
I would like to actually.
Big draw was that it was portable. I was needing portable at the time.
And now we got the Switch, which is all portable.
That's true.
And the thing with the Switch though, they could, it's kind of touchscreen. They could, make an HD version or something, or at least an emulated version.
Yeah, how the heck would you play Spirit Tracks now? You need two screens and
they could probably change it though. They could easily change the Ocarina of Time 3D that was on the exclusive to the 3DS. They could bring that out on the Switch. They won't, but I would love to try it.
What is that next game? I cannot tell.
A Link Between Worlds. That's the actual sequel to A Link to the Past that I haven't played. I never had a 3DS, so.
Huh. What's wrong with you? It's the best system they had. It was a great system. Except they broke easily. That's the problem. So, no wait, 3DS? No, I'm wrong. What was the one before?
DS?
DS.
Oh.
DS broke easily. Okay. I had 3 of them that broke.
Really?
Yeah.
I hear A Link Between Worlds is really good, on par with A Link to the Past. So it's just like, I feel bad. I mean, not feel bad, but I feel like
you should.
I haven't been able to play it.
I'm feeling really guilty right now.
It kind of sucks that I haven't played it, and I wish they would bring it out on Switch. They won't do it. So.
Okay, well, we can't rate a game we haven't played. Sounds like it'd be a fun one though.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So Breath of the Wild.
Here we are. We're to the modern era of Zelda games. I can tell you my experience in Breath of the Wild, and that is that, boy, this game sucked for about 3, 4, 5 years. How long has it been out? Now
97. 2017.
That's like 6 years now. So I started trying to play it several years ago and just thought, this game sucks. I can't get anywhere. I'm trapped. This stupid plateau. I didn't give it a chance. And this guy here held a gun to my head and said I had to get off the plateau. So I did it. And then it changed my life. I'm a born again Breath of the Wild fan.
He's got like a shrine.
And now I've put Link through 2 lifetimes in Zelda years, and he still hasn't fully saved the princess because he's too busy collecting shrines and stuff.
Well, he's got to get stronger.
So great game.
Yeah, the plateau is, I think, where a lot of people just kind of, it's, first of all, it's very difficult at first. It's like one hit, you could die, or if you fall off something, you die. It's like that you don't get the parasail until you're done with the plateau. And you have to get off that thing so you can explore.
That's where Nintendo weeded out the people that weren't really fans. You know? I was lucky I finally made it through.
It's sort of like a boot camp. something like that. Weed out the weak ones.
But who knew this completely different style Zelda game would be so awesome?
Yeah.
And it was.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the freedom. And I really enjoyed that they went away from the Zelda formula if they did,
Where you had to go one place to the next, Yeah.
And, they didn't have those helper characters, that they've had since Ocarina. I was kind of glad they went away from that. And just to go back a little bit, Skyward Sword's Fi or Fee, I'm pretty sure it's Fee.
Fi. Well, I've heard several people call
I've heard it both ways.
Yeah.
Like she got super annoying. That's one part I just did not like about Skyward Sword that might actually make me want to put it on B, but just she got super. I liked her as a character, even though I thought the computerized like tone that she had or the way she talked was kind of like weird, but I liked her. She was just super annoying. So
I liked her because she was super annoying.
I didn't say that, but I think the HE version they toned her down a bit there. So overall, anyway, Breath of the Wild, I was kind of glad they went away with that and some of the other formulaic stuff that they've had for a long time, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, well, how much? I enjoyed it at a S level.
Same here.
Okay.
Same. I would put it at S. I mean, there were obviously some things that kind of got tedious or a little annoying, like with any game. Mm-hmm. But it was more nitpicky and not enough to really bring down the overall experience.
And honestly, they let you skip so much that they were very generous in not having a whole bunch of loading screens and
Well, except for like teleporting around.
Yeah, that kind of was slow. Of course, it's too much for the system it's on. So
yeah, I would say so. And breaking weapons breaking got kind of old, but I kind of like to me I learned that I just kind of just went with the flow and just like I'll just get a different one or collect other ones somewhere else or whatever.
Not to mention it raised the value of a weapon, so they were more precious when they could break.
Yeah.
So of course, once you got the Master Sword, you just didn't worry about any of that. All of a sudden, you have all these weapons you don't use.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Master Sword, like, it fizzles out after a while, but if you use them against things that are, like, evil and it starts glowing, it lasts a long time.
Mm-hmm. Good game.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. And Tears of the Kingdom we're playing now. That's not on the list.
It's not.
But if I were to rank it, I would rank it above Breath of the Wild.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's more to do. You got the sky stuff, you got the depths, but not only that, on the regular map, there's a lot more stuff to do. There's more people walking around. It's less of a kind of a barren wasteland. It's not a wasteland per se, but it's a lot less barren.
They definitely took it and made it 10 times what Breath of the Wild was.
10 times.
Oh, heck yeah. There's so much in it. You can't even get from one place to the next. Have you noticed how many different missions there are? There's way more missions.
Yeah, you get distracted.
The whole second map underground, for example. Have you tried to just fly around under there from place to place? It is ridiculous. It's just huge.
I noticed in some areas it's just easier to go to the overworld and find a spot to drop down in there if you want to expand the map a little bit.
Yeah, because the rivers get in the way.
Yeah,
you can't fly
the
everywhere.
walls and stuff like that. Like it's almost like a lot of stuff that they wanted to put in Breath of the Wild. They decided, let's throw it in Tears,
Yeah.
So they did everything but the kitchen sink, really.
Yeah, and there were some things they ran out of time with Breath of the Wild, like the building aspect. And they obviously added on to that.
Yeah. Have you tried building a house yet?
No, I mean to, but I just keep pushing that back. Yeah,
originally for Terrytown, they were going to allow you to build it how you want it to, but they ran out of time, so they couldn't do that. So when you build a house in this one, you can do that.
Yeah, so, I've seen it. I want to do it, but there's too many things. I haven't found the time.
There are, of course, some aspects that get on the nerves or get tedious, is what I want to say. Having to build things constantly. I mean, the auto build tool is very useful.
Yeah,
but it just gets tedious just having to build.
You're also not a very good builder, so there's that. I had to walk this guy through when we first started playing. He just couldn't handle it.
Well. Okay, when we first did it, and it might be on video.
It is.
Okay, when I first did it, I didn't realize it was a grid-based thing, where you had to move it in a grid.
You know who else didn't realize? my 7-year-old cousin who didn't ever touch the game either and picked it up and just did it like.
Would you let me explain it? Would you? Okay, first
everyone knows where you're going.
Kids are very intuitive and they're like a sponge. Okay, but when I first tried it, I thought you could just maneuver it freely with a control stick. I couldn't, Then I realized, it's a grid where you have to move it in a certain way in order to move it up and down straight. I didn't realize that at first. So there.
Then when you did, you still sucked, but it's okay.
I don't suck now. Do you want me to try it now and show you just how amazing I have gotten?
We'll have to do it on camera to prove it. Anyways, yes, joking aside,
yeah,
it is tedious, but so helpful. So much fun stuff. You see people building like 747s and shit with all that stuff. It is fun.
It really does come down to your ingenuity, just how inventive you can be in creating stuff.
Yeah.
Or just copy other people.
The stuff you can fuse to your weapons, and it is a crazy game. I will say there's a little aftertaste in my mouth of it being Breath of the Wild 2. It's not a bad thing, but it is kind of Breath of the Wild 2.
Kind of like you've already done this.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same overworld, generally speaking.
Yeah.
You've been here, you're just going back. But I love it because I love Breath of the Wild and it brings me back where I've been and there's new things. So I have no problem with that. And I have no problem also rating it an S.
I understand that, feeling that whole sort of sense of like it's kind of samey because, you put like 200, 300 hours in Breath of the Wild or whatever, and then it's just like, I got to put 500 hours into Tears and it's kind of the same overworld. I mean, a lot has changed, but I can understand that sentiment. But to me personally, I think it's just like, it's still just as good. Yeah, definitely S tier for Tears of the Kingdom so far.
Yeah, and it's not going to decline for me. I've already seen amazingness of it. The story is something special too, which we're going to break that down in another video very soon.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the timeline story stuff soon.
Yes, because there is something special going on with Tears that is, I think, a specific approach where Nintendo in the past has not cared about the timeline, but now they understand that it's a big foundation for their fans. So it's the first game where you can see they actually put some effort in.
I do think so, but in the process, they retconned some stuff.
Yeah, that'll happen.
So
Nintendo still hates its fans, so it's
so we'll see how that goes. Also, the Adventure of Link, Zelda 2. I mean, it may be on the lowest tier here that we've done, not the lowest, but C tier. By no means does that make it bad, in my opinion. It's still good, just not as good as the rest, in my opinion.
Yeah. I can't comment. I didn't play it enough.
Well, there's a randomizer for that.
That would suck.
I know. I can't wait. I do want to try.
Let's do it.
I do want to try it. All right. Well, I think that's about it. I mean, anything else you want to say about it?
No, that's our tier. Tell us what you think. Where would you rank these? Put it in the comments. Man, if you disagree, I hate you. But just kidding.
Controversy.
There's a lot of fluidity here with these for myself as well. But every Zelda game holds a special place in my heart.
Yeah, same here. All right. Well, so that's our opinion of the games. If you disagree or agree or whatever, just tell us in the comments. We would like to hear what you think as well. All right. We'll see you later.
See ya.